Io sono qui con il leggendario Giancarlo Pacenti. Welcome to Meet the Masters, another episode. We have a legend of Brunello di Montalcino. I give you 60 seconds to introduce yourself a little bit.
Thank you. Not a legend, of course. I'm in the middle between my family, my father, my grandfather, and my son. My family started to make wine, to make Brunello di Montalcino, in a location in a part of the world where some years ago the economy was very poor. And I bring my production, I bring my farm, my vineyards to make a wine that at the moment is Recno in the world. Recno for me means that the people that love the good wines normally know the Siro Pacenti production.
And you joined the winery in the late 1980s. How was that decision for you to take over such a big responsibility?
Yes, really the good part of the work was made from my grandfather, my father and my mother. I studied different things. After again I decided to work in the winery, in the production of the wine. We have some vineyards and some terrain in two different parts of Montalcino. Means that my work is to organize the production of wine, the cellar, the vinification and the other part of the cellar, and after again to organize the market. In the first it was very easy because different time and different condition of the market. Of course, in the time the work is more a work of responsibility. Because at the moment the production at the moment is more important in quality and more important as image. Means is a work of a team in the vineyards, some people in the cellar, and of course some people outside in the market, in the office and in the market. Means is all the team that at the moment build Siro Pacenti.
And your wines are quite recognized all over the world, as well as the region of Brunello di Montalcino. How would you describe your success on the international market, so outside of Italy?
Difficult to answer. Is different condition and a different approach. When I started in Montalcino, all the producers use only one word: tradition. We crash this tradition and we try to make a Sangiovese made in Montalcino in a different way. Because my opinion is that it's necessary to understand well what we do in vineyards and what we do in the cellar. Of course, the idea was to have a wine different. We have a different condition because we have two vineyards, one in the north, one in the south of Montalcino, and nobody in this time have the same conditions. And we try to make a wine more complex, more balanced. The ripeness from the south, the elegance from the north. Of course, at the time is a way to work that was recognized in the world, and at the moment we can say that our name, our wines are known from the passionated of Brunello.
And when we talk about the evolution of the styles in this masterclass, we had the opportunity to try everything from 2013 to 2019, and I noticed that it goes from a lower alcohol around 14% to bigger 15.5%. Is that because the style changed, or is it because of the climate change, or?
No, it's the climate changing. Of course, the problem is that it's changing very fast. And we have a different condition in the time, in 2-3 years we can have a different condition from the past. Of course, we try to work in a different way and to balance this different climate. Not only the alcohol grow, not only the sugar in the grapes, but all the characteristics of the wine changed, and we can speak about a wine that have perhaps a little bit more alcohol, but at the same time is more full about the structure, about the tannins, about the different characteristics. Means in the end we try to maintain a good complexity and a good elegance. And I think also in the last vintage we can say that we can arrive to maintain it. In the same time, in vineyards we try to react in a good way to the different conditions of climate.
And how do you retain that elegance in your wines? For people that don't know Sangiovese, that don't know the style of Brunello, how do you still balance out that ripeness of fruit, also that acidity, freshness?
Yes, it is a characteristic of the terrain, is a characteristic coming from the grapes, from the climate, from the exposition, of course, but was our original idea of wine, of Brunello di Montalcino. In the 80s, in the end, when I started, in the end of the 80s, the Brunello was only tannins and oxidation. Means a lot of wine was not the best expression is possible of the fruit from the Sangiovese, a part of the producers, but also some enologists have the opinion that Sangiovese means not flavors. Really, I don't understand. Of course, if you have a production for viners very high, and if you destroy in vinification with high temperature, all the flavors from the grapes is that. But if you work in a good way, a production very small, every viners, and we respect the characteristic of the Sangiovese, and we have a good ripeness when we pick the grapes, when we have the harvest, we can maintain not only good characteristic but unique characteristic in the Sangiovese made in Montalcino.
And it's quite interesting when we try the wines and there is some new oak there, but it's always kind of in the background, so you feel the fruit expression in the front, that's the main focus, and then you use the oak in the background.
Yes, is also in this way to work, in the use of the oak, we have a background coming from our experience in the Bordeaux area, and with the experimentation with the Bordeaux University. We use it in the past, and we use also now little wood, but we use a particular selection of wood coming from the forest of Saint-France. Well adapted to the wines we have in the cellar after fermentation. Is a problem of maintain all the characteristics of the Sangiovese, of the good, all the good characteristics of the Sangiovese made in our production, and to arrive to wines with fineness about the tannins and the structure. But that is possible to drink when we release in the market, at the same time that it is possible to keep in cellar for many years.
When you start talking about the aging potential, what would you say the future of Sangiovese is and the region itself of Montalcino?
There are different opinions and there are different ways to work. The only way I can see is to work in a good way and to try to have more expression, more character is possible from the Sangiovese made in Montalcino. Isn't very easy, really. From other grapes, perhaps it's more easy. The Sangiovese is an expression of the terroir that is necessary to filter by the work of the man, by the work in vineyards first, and to respect in the cellar. In the end, we take care by hand of every vines, and we know very well every part of the vineyards. This is my way to understand and to grow Sangiovese, and really is the only way I see for the future. Together with tutelation to the changement of climate.
And somebody in the masterclass asked you whether you do organic biodynamics. Do you approach the vines like this, or is it some other method?
We are biological, no biodynamics, because to respect the terroir, to respect the terrain, the air all around us, means every time, everything that we do around must be respect of the world, the corner of the world we live inside. We don't use a chemical system. We nourish the terrain with manure and fava beans. Means in the end we use sometimes, of course, a little bit of water in the young vineyards. We use a little bit of irrigation, but we use clean water from our lake or our source near the vineyards. Means in the end that we try to respect all the system, not only one part, but all the system of production. The same, of course, in the cellar. Because I received from my grandfather, my father, my family, this part of terrain and this part of Montalcino, and my opinion is the better things I can do with my work is to pass to the future, to my son and the son of my son.
Mm-hmm. And now we come to the veteran question. I would say, as an experienced winemaker, what would you advise to younger generation winemakers, especially in Montalcino, how to proceed with winemaking, how to approach viticulture?
I'm not a veteran. I have a little bit of experience about the fermentation, about the work, of course, because under my responsibility, I made harvest also with my father before, when I was very young. I started under my responsibility in '88. Means okay, happier a lot of vintage ago, a lot of harvest ago. What we can say to try to experiment, to don't have a problem, to try and experiment and to change also when the experimentation is good. At the same time, it's necessary to respect all the work, the terrain, the vineyards, the grapes, the terroir, the work.
And when somebody opens a bottle of your Brunello, what do you expect them to experience? What do you want to translate through your bottles to the consumers?
The passion we have in the production and the cleanness of the fruit when in September we can eat berries in the vineyards. We expected to find in the glass the same sensation.
It's quite simple, straightforward. All right. Grazie mille, Giancarlo.
Grazie, big pleasure. Thank you very much.